Hello, amazing healers. I'm so happy you're here today so I can share some tips with you about how to connect with clients, but not only that, but what do you do when you first encounter them and what is in a free session? You hear all about free sessions and there's a process to it. So today I'm going to talk to you about connecting with your potential clients, what's in a free session, and then if there's a little time, starting to ask for the sale. Stay tuned to hear more. After interviewing hundreds of amazing healers like you on my podcast, I discovered their biggest challenges include not knowing where to get started to build their healing practice, build their practice so they can attract a stable income to support themselves, and that their advertising efforts seem like a waste of time and money. I had these same frustrations during my 30-year healing history. When I finally retired as a physics professor, I needed to replace my six-figure salary fast. As a highly sensitive introvert, I couldn't use typical sales techniques. Instead, I developed a 3-step system that replaced my income within 5 months. I've helped others develop their successful healing businesses with this system, and I can help you too. I'm Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. Listen in to discover more. Welcome back. This is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, the scientific healer and founder of Healers University. So last time I talked about when you hear someone complaining and you connect with them, the best thing to do is to connect with your heart. And the idea is not to get a client, but to help them. And by you being in service to them, right, while you being in service to them, they will be more attracted to you. And I have always done this with my practice. For me, it's not that important to have the sale as it is for them to walk away feeling really great. I know that's not good business practice, but what's really awesome about it is that you can build trust with your potential client, right? So people love to talk about themselves. So the first thing, of course, is ask what's happening. And why are they connecting with you? I had one such instance happen yesterday. A really amazing healer contacted me, and she is very well versed in many modalities and didn't know how to describe herself, right? And she didn't really know what to say to a potential client. She just kind of goes on instinct. And instinct works, right? Your intuition and your instinct works when the person is totally ready right at the moment to have you help them. And by you being in service, they will then trust you, know, like, and trust you by having just a simple casual conversation. How are things? Are you married? Do you have children? Where do you live? Those kinds of things, right? So once you've established that really essential rapport, listen intently, right? Listening intently is really, really important. And it doesn't have to be that you're faking it. Like for me, I am totally interested in other people, totally, right? And if you are, it makes it really, really easy. Like I'm fascinated by the human condition. I'm fascinated by what, things that make people tick, what is their motivation, and what drives them, and how whatever situation they're in at the moment, how it connects to all those things. And indeed it does, right? So then you can then ask if they are open and willing to accept help for that. Like if you're just a student just starting out, or you're just starting your practice, I would suggest practicing on people for free. Okay, so what I did in the very beginning, 10 years ago when I started healing full-time, not just part-time, I would offer a free session, and then I would follow up with them a week later. In the beginning, I did not follow up with them, and then I left it up to them to connect with me. But then I would follow up and ask them how that week was, and make my offer at that point, right? So you can always ask people if they're willing and open to accepting help with that, right? And you don't really have to describe, like if they're saying, oh, I have this chest congestion, I haven't been able to get rid of it. It really hurts when I breathe deeply. And then I would say, well, would you like some help with that? I am a healing student. I'm just beginning my practice and I really need help. Would you be open and willing to accept that from me? And I would say 99.9% of the time, people always say yes. Oh, absolutely. I would love some kind of help. I would like to experience this from you, and so on. And then I would just do a healing on the spot, right? And many people lost their chest congestion or lost their throat congestion. One person had lost his voice in the first night of a conference, and he got it back. You can find that testimonial on my YouTube channel and things like that. So this really helps with your connection with them, right? And then you, of course, at the end, you need to practice collecting your energy back and give them theirs. Otherwise, you'll end up with their kind of issues interlaying with yours, intermixed, right? You don't want that, right? You want to let that go. That's why you ground when you first connect with people. And then when you are in the middle of the free session and practicing, right, make sure you ground yourself and them, right? Ground them, ground you, so they have a conduit to release that energy, that it doesn't come flying back to you. And whatever your practice is, whatever modality, whether you work with crystals, whether you're doing massage, acupuncture, any one of those things, sound healing, whatever it is that you do, then do that. My personal practice is I do a simple energy reading first, and then I tell them what I find, right? And a lot of times I'll get impressions right away. And then I make sure that I complete by giving them their energy back and releasing all the foreign energy out of me, right? So a lot of people ask me, what should be in that free session, right? So aside from beginning the dialogue and asking them, how are they doing? What's happening in their life? What would they like help for? And what have they tried before, right? Because a lot of them have tried all kinds of things. One of my former clients said, I've done everything but sit under a pyramid, right? So she was very desperate to get help, and she did, right? So in those readings and intuitive hits, that will help you guide what you are going to do, right? The thing is that at the beginning, you tell them exactly what you're going to do, right? I'm going to do a reading on you, then I'm going to clear the most critical issues, then I will ask you how that was for you, and you'll give me feedback on what's going on, and then if that works for you, I will suggest a trio of solutions for you, and you can take them or leave them, right? So that gives them the roadmap of what you're going to do. Whatever it is that you're doing, you give them the roadmap ahead of time, and you make sure you're going to make an offer at the end, and they could take it or leave it, right? And if you're going to do paid sessions at the end of this free offering, and I have to say free offerings were really awesome. I've done free offerings for people that got instant help, and they have referred thousands and thousands of dollars in clients for me. They were my most enthusiastic cheerleaders, right? And there are people that have been in my clientele for the last decade. They keep coming back because they know that whatever it is I'm doing really helps them, right? So in your paid sessions, suggest a time frame, like, this will take about a month of sessions, or it will take more, and of course you have your reasons for it. The reasons I personally give is that you didn't get into bad habits overnight. It's the equivalent of saying, I'm going to diet for one consecutive day and I will reach my ideal weight. That's not how it works, right? So you need to give them a clue as to how energy, or at least your style of healing, works. A lot of us, of course, can wave a magic wand and poof, their energy has shifted. And I've seen this happen over and over, where tumors shrank away overnight, or asthma cleared up with one session, or sleep patterns were readjusted after 1 or 2 sessions. But what happens is that your client, or your potential client's energy, their thought patterns, their habits, their feelings about themselves, their relationships, haven't had enough time to shift. It takes a minimum of 90 days for things to really shift permanently. So what happens is that they'll be fine for a while, and then the thing will start, whatever is going on in them will devolve and go back to what it was. It's like a rubber band that pulls them back. And you need a few sessions to cut that rubber band that has you stuck in that mode, right? So having a time frame is a reasonable thing to do, right? And it's based on what you read. You can do a reading and ask how many days or how many sessions will it take to resolve this particular issue, no matter what your modality, right? And so the last point on asking for the sale, because I always offer a trio of solutions: a no-cost solution, a low-cost trial solution, and a solution that will take care of the problem permanently. And I would say about 30%, I'd say about 20% go for the free solution, about 30% go for the low-cost solution and then opt in to do more, and then about half of them will go, I want the full Monty, right? So after you suggest a time frame, then quote them a package based on what you read, right? And then just stop talking. You don't have to convince anybody of anything. They have had that experience with your free session. You don't have to do any convincing. What they are doing is figuring out if and how they can pay for the sessions with you, because they are valuing you, right? If you haven't given them what the value is to them, they usually don't sign up, right? But you stop talking, and never, ever, ever be in the state of mind that you absolutely positively need the sale. What that does is it projects to them that you just want them for their money, right? That's the worst thing you can do. You have to be able to let it go, no matter how much in debt you are, how much money you owe, how much money you need. Being in a state of need like that puts out the wrong energy, because they feel it whether they are acutely aware of it or not. People do get that impression from others, like, oh, he just wants to make the sale, right? My whole point, for me, that's just for me, from my standpoint, is I don't want to just make the sale. I want to do something that helps. And if I feel like I can't help that person, let's say that person is very resistant to energy work, I then send them to a homeopathic doctor, an alternative medicine doctor. I have a Rolodex of them here in the Los Angeles area, or I tell them, go to an integrative medicine doctor and they can help them better, right? So don't be married to the sale, I'm saying, right? And that's where People come back over and over again, or they'll send people. Do you know a good energy healer? Yeah, I had one. Did you hire her? Well, I was kind of skeptical about energy healing in general, but why don't you give her a call, right? And even people that don't hire you will suggest you, especially if you are, it's all coming from your heart, right? So let me just summarize. What we did was we talked about an opening dialogue, number 1. Number 2 is how to do a free session to practice, number 1. Number 2, kind of let somebody sample your wares and show them what you can do. And then 3, what should be in the free session and how to ask for the sale at the end. Okay, that's all I have for today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you found this message helpful, please subscribe to this channel, give me a thumbs up or a 5-star rating, and share it with your friends. To discover more about the 3-step system for attracting a generous income as a healer or intuitive coach, sign up for free at www.highpaidhealers.com. I look forward to seeing you there and in the next video.